Hey guys, how are we? Well, beautiful Sunday morning here in Pattaya. This is Pratamnak, I think it is. I think that's how you say it anyway. Just thought I would do a brief video explaining why there is inflation at the moment. And there is inflation rocketing all around the world. And it's due to a couple of different factors. One of the biggest factors that you're always going to face with inflation, it's exactly the same as what they did in France when they had the French Revolution. I think it was John Laws, who was a Scotsman, fled to France because he killed a guy in a bar fight. And King Louis, I think it was, put him in charge of the treasury, and he just kept printing money. And before long, you know, they had really heady times, similar to what we've just gone through in the last probably 10-15 years, since 2008. And times were good, and then all of a sudden it was a bubble and it exploded, and there was the French Revolution, and John Laws fled. So John Laws basically just kept printing money in the treasury. And this made people and King Louis very happy for a period of time until it came back to bite them. And that's what we're seeing at the moment. So inflation is often caused by oversupply of money. To give you a very simple example of how this works. So imagine having a pizza, and each piece of pizza is worth $1. Well, the more that you slice up that pizza, you've got to make up those slices to be smaller and smaller and smaller. And each piece of pizza is still worth $1, but it means that you get a smaller slice every time that you add more and more dollars to the system. And that's what's happening at the moment. For you to be able to buy petrol or buy a house or buy food, it's going to cost you more and more dollars to buy that product, purely because the value of that dollar is far less. That's why you're seeing gold starting to go up, and that's why you've seen cryptocurrencies go up in value. A lot of assets will continue to go up in value, because it's not so much the asset going up in value, it's the value of the currency coming down, and that's what most people don't understand. The other thing that we're facing at the moment, I think it was in the Suez Canal probably a year, 18 months ago, there was a ship that was stuck, and that basically caused a bit of a supply chain shortage because the other ships couldn't get through. That was the beginning of our woes in regards to the supply chain, as well as what's happened with COVID, the lockdowns in Shanghai, all the other factors around that. There has been supply chain shortage, so there's more and more money chasing after the scarcity of goods and services. That's also a contributing factor. So there's lots of other contributing factors when it comes to inflation, and this thing is going to rock and roll sooner rather than later, and mark my words, there's going to be hyperinflation before long. As I said in my previous video, and if you haven't watched it, go and watch it, Black Swan, it's coming. I'll put a link to that in the description below. Go and watch that video. It's a bit of a further explanation. The other thing is we're heavily geared towards a lot of production being done in China, so we're heavily dependent on China, even Korea and Taiwan for semiconductors and other pressure technological products that are used for cars and computers and all other bits and pieces. There's a lot of problems here. And what I'm saying is this is going to get a lot worse, because the Federal Reserve in the US and the European Central Bank is continuing to buy debt as well. You did see the debt, the 10-year bond yield go up above 3.12 the other week, up to 3.4, and then back down again, which indicated that the US Federal Reserve was buying that debt. And that means they have to add more money to the system that's more and more pressure on inflation, and this thing is going to get out of control at some point in the very near future. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave that there. If you like the content, consider liking the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and the bell notification, and yeah, go over to the Overseas Exiles Facebook group, join the discussion, and I will keep you up to date on some of the best places around the world to relocate to, get maybe a second passport, second permanent residency, properties. I'll deliver all that content as we always do. So anyway, guys, stay tuned and we'll speak to you soon.